Okay, and we're back. So this is part 2, and I just covered it up. That's not going to stress me out. That is okay. So this is part 2 of chat number 143, and that was 7 tips to conquer stress. And I'm sorry, Pat says, is there a difference between a pressure cooker and an Instant Pot? I don't know, because I don't have an Instant Pot. Who can answer that question? Okay, so, but this is part 2 of chat number 143, 7 tips to reduce stress. So we're going to reduce some stress about Halloween now. I don't know how many of you celebrate Halloween. Again, even if you don't, even if that is not a holiday that you celebrate for whatever reason, there's going to be candy around. There's going to be weird food around. There's going to be food that you only see at Halloween. And we're going to talk about that. So Halloween, when we lived in a house, that used to be our holiday. So we let everybody else have Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, all those other, hello Johnny, all those other, holidays. We used to let somebody else celebrate them, somebody else decorate, whatever. We always had Halloween, and we would decorate to the, to the gills, whatever. We had a blow up screen. We had a, oh no, Jennifer said Facebook keeps closing on her. Silly Facebook. But we used to have a blow-up screen. When we had our big RV, we would keep the blow-up screen out there at the RV. We would set up tables, and we would have food. We'd have chili. We would have, hello Jessica. We would have chili. We would have nachos. We'd have hot dogs. We'd have pizza. We would have, we're going to talk about candy corn, Sandy. But we would have all that food, so Halloween was our, was our thing. So we've all, and John, hello Jackie, and John is dying to get down to Disney for Halloween one year, so that we can do the parade, and we can enjoy all things Halloween. We were there, sort of a crossover for Halloween one year. We weren't really there for Halloween, but anyway, so we love Halloween. We love handing out candy, and we love, I don't know, we just love it. So let's talk about Halloween. Let's talk about things that come out only at Halloween, that are near and dear to us and remind us of our childhood, and that we would feel, I don't know, neglected or something if we did not participate in it. This is one of those things. So as a child, we did not get a lot of treats because our parents we did not have a lot of money, and we had, my parents had spent most of our money on a farmhouse that they wanted, and so we ate mostly things that we grew or raised or whatever. So we didn't keep a lot of things. This is one of the treats though that we were allowed to have, once a year, and you could pick either Frankenberry, Boo Berry, or Count Chocula. Who knows? Give me a thumbs up if you remember Frankenberry, Boo Berry, or Count Chocula. So this is retro. It's back around again. Anyway, so Frankenberry was my favorite, Boo Berry was my sister's favorite, and I guess my mom maybe must have liked Count Chocula because we always ended up with one box of each. And when we would get down to the dregs to the bottom of the box, my sister and I would team up together and we would mix them. So instead of just having Frankenberry or just having Boo Berry, we would mix Frankenberry and Boo Berry. And apparently we never got much of the Count Chocula. But anyway, so Frankenberry. So I went ahead and got some Frankenberry. Barbara, you've never seen, you're kidding. Barbara, you're kidding, right? You've never seen Frankenberry. Frankenberry, Boo Berry, or Count Chocula. Let me just say, if you don't already know what it is, don't go get some. Do not go get some. And Rosie has a box of Count Chocula. Yeah, I can't help it. Okay, this is not the end of the world. I just want to let you all know that a cup of Frankenberry is 5 smart points. It's 5 smart points for a cup of Frankenberry. It comes out one time a year. Frankenberry, Boo Berry, Count Chocula comes out one time a year. So I went ahead and got myself a box. I also got a box of multigrain Cheerios because I'm going to cut it half and half because it'll still, trust me, Frankenberry is berry enough that cutting it half and half is still going to do it. But still, it's 5 smart points for a cup. There's a lot worse things for 5 smart points. Anyway, that's some things that are near and dear. Okay, so more than likely, though, what we're all going to be surrounded with is candy. So people are going to be bringing candy to work. Everywhere you go, there's a bowl or a bucket or a cauldron or something of candy sitting out that you don't necessarily see all year. And a lot of different kinds of candy. Some of the candy only comes out, at one time a year. And I know who was it? Somebody that I know likes Boston baked beans, I think they're called. I've never had them, not planning on trying them, but they said they mainly come out at Halloween, so they were like really dreading that, because that was one of their favorite candies from their childhood. And again, this nostalgia. I mean, when I walked by and saw that box, I was like, oh, it took me back. I mean, it took me back to the farm. I mean, we used to have to ask for things like parquet squeeze margarine. We weren't allowed to have things like that. I know that's not the best thing to have, but anyway, we weren't allowed to have things like that just because we couldn't afford them. My mom was the one who would sew the lace on the bottom of your jeans because you grew too much that year and they couldn't afford another pair of jeans. So that was my mom doing that. But like I would ask for parquet squeeze margarine. I would ask for that in my stocking, because there was no chance that we were gonna get it any other way. Anyway, so nostalgia, things like that, at times of the year, like Halloween, like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, like Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, things like that. There are gonna be things coming up that you need to go ahead and think about. So I already knew that Frankenberry, because I had stressed out about it, 5 or 6 or 8 years ago, whenever it was, thinking, oh my gosh, it's Frankenberry and Blueberry. And I think that year, I got a Frankenberry, a Blueberry, and a Count Chocula, all 3 of them. And I didn't check the points. Of course, back then it was points. I can't remember if it was points or if it's points plus, but I didn't check the points. I was just like, throw caution to the wind, and just started mixing them. Just started mixing them and eating them. That's what I was eating for dessert every night were those 3 cereals. But then when I stopped and reflected back and went and checked the points, it's just 5 points for a whole cup of it. That's not a bad snack at night, I mean, it's 5 points. And plus, I really enjoy it. Okay, so first, before we go through our list of Halloween candy, I want you all to tell me what this has in common. So we have a Twizzler, a Jolly Rancher, 2 of the Tootsie Rolls, the Fruit Chews, and a Reese's miniature. So we have that in one bag. Then in the second bag, we have 15 pieces of candy corn. So that's 15 candy corns. And then in this bag, we have a 1 1/4 cup of Frankenberry. So what do you think of 1 1/4 cup of Frankenberry, 15 candy corns, or this little bag that has a Reese's miniature? Now that's a miniature. That's not the snack size. And the miniatures are they're this big. They're that big. So a Reese's mini, a Twizzler, like a little one string or whatever of a Twizzler, 2 of the Tootsie Roll Fruit Chews, and a Jolly Rancher. So what do you think? What do y'all think the 3 of those things have in common? While I get another sip of tea. Actually, I may have to make some more tea. While y'all are thinking, let me make some more tea. At work, Betty says, at work, we are going to trick or treat at each other's desks. Everybody's supposed to bring a bag of candy. Then I can't see the same thing. Okay. Barbara says 5 points. Rosie says same points. Michelle says same points. Vicki says same points. Marlene says hi, Jen. Johnny says same points. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, wait. Somebody just said there's sugar. That's a correct answer. Even though that's not the answer I'm looking for, that is a correct answer. So, let's see. Oh, Loretta says there's sugar. Oh, yeah. No, that's not it, but that's a good one. Teresa says points value. Pat says 5 points. Lynn says they're proportioned. Okay. Yeah, they are proportioned. You're exact. Yeah, that is a good, that's not what I was looking for, but that's a great thing that they have in common, Lynn. They are all proportioned. Okay, so remember I said this was a 1 1/4 cup. So a 1 1/4 cup. Oh, and Jackie says a big portion and a small portion. So a 1 1/4 cup of Frankenberry cereal, of my beloved Frankenberry cereal, is 6 smart points. A 1 1/4 cup. So the serving size is 1 cup, but this is 1 1/4 cup. It is 6 smart points. This is 15 candy corns. So 15 candy corns, 6 smart points. So that is like 15, let's see, 6 divided by 15. So what is that, 2 1/3 or whatever? So that right there, that much right there, that's pretty much a smart point. No, 2 smart points. No, 1 smart point. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so 15 of these, 6 smart points, and the Hershey's Mini. So the Hershey's Mini, and again, remember, it's this big. It's a tiny little mini. So a Hershey's Mini, this one strand of Twizzler, 2 of the Fruit Chews, and a Jolly Rancher, all of that is also 6 smart points. Now this, I'm not going to be as likely to sit down and eat, because I don't know, I'm just not a big sit down and eat candy, person. But I'm probably way more likely to pick this up and like take it to a movie, stick it in a bag, whatever. But that's 6 smart points. This is 6 smart points, and this is 6 smart points. So, that could go to a movie with me. This could be sit at home, whatever. Anyway, so I just want to point out all 3 of these are 6 smart points. So don't just assume this one is a bad one for me to just sit and grab them. I actually do like candy corn. I know there's not a lot. I mean, I don't know. So what? And Marlene, that is a lot of points. But if you think about it, though, I would have grabbed. That's a handful. Let's just see how many this is. Let's see what this looks like in my hand. So 15 candy corn. That's not even a handful. That is not even a handful of candy corn for me. Okay? So that versus I probably would have, I don't know, 3 or 4 handfuls of this. And that would be, let's see, 6, 24. So that would be like 24 points before I even realized, what I was eating. So yeah, that's not even a handful for me. This, I could just sit and eat a little bit at a time. I'm much less likely to just grab I don't know why, but I'm much less likely to grab a handful of this cereal, like a handful, and cram it in my mouth. This, I pop almost, not all of them, but probably half that. That was probably like 2 bites for me, and that would go down really fast. This is going to take a few minutes. So if I took this to a movie, I would probably eat the little Reese's Mini first, just because it's a little bit of chocolate. And then I'd probably eat the Twizzler second, and then probably eat the little Fruit Chews next, and then spend the rest of the movie sucking on the Jolly Rancher. So that's just an example to show you and to slow you down a little bit. So, we talk a lot about knowledge being power. You've got to know before you go. So if you go, or if you're going to a party, or if you're going to be in a situation, where they're going to have a big bowl of candy corn sitting out, or something else, yeah, just be prepared. So we're going to talk about the actual candy now. Betty says, would that be better than getting popcorn and a Coke at the movie theater? Depends. How much are you planning on eating? Because if I had 3 handfuls of candy corn, that's probably about the same as an unbuttered popcorn. I don't drink Coke, so I don't know how many points that is. And Judy says, same here. She can't stop with the candy corn. See, I could stop. When I was done with a bag of this, I could stop. The candy corn, I'm going to keep going back to. Okay, let me show you something else. So if you are the one who's giving out the candy, if you're handing out the candy, please do not keep it. If you have a problem with candy, I do with some candy. So if you have a problem with candy, or if you have a problem staying out of the candy, please do not keep it in a container like this. So this is easy access. You can see everything that's in here. I don't need to be walking by this 6 and 7 and 12 times a day and seeing what's in here. So if I'm the candy giver outer, please put it in something that's opaque. So even if you just put it in a paper bag, even if you just take this and put it down in a paper bag so that you can't see it. And if the candy bowl is at work, put it somewhere away from you. Like, don't let them put it in your office. If you're the receptionist or the hostess, bless your heart, put it out somewhere where the customers can get it. Ours is not on the, it's not on the hostess desk. It's not where we can all just sit there, and grab and eat out of it. It's actually in a vessel sink that we put over on the other side of the room. So you have to walk across the room, and it's kind of obvious. I'm making a trek across the room to go get a piece of candy out, because that's the only reason you would be walking over to that side of the room. Okay, so don't put it in a clear container. Put it in an opaque container or a paper bag or something that you can't see through, because you're going to be much less tempted if you can't see through it, all the time. Everything that's in here, and we're not going to go through every single one of them because I do have some numbers I want to read you off. The most points in here, I do want to show you the bag that I bought for this, that I bought for the shop. They have the little tiny ones. So the little tiny Skittles, it has the little boxes of dots. It's got the little 2 things of Twizzlers, and it does have, hold on, there's something, the little Whoppers, little tiny things of Whoppers. So it does have the little tiny ones of those. So make sure, if you have to buy candy, here's what I was looking for. This is a Heath Mini. So look how little the piece of candy is that's in there. See, okay, let me fold it. I'm not going to open it because I'll eat it. See how little that is? How little that piece of candy is? That's 2 points. So if you buy something that's chocolate, buy something that's like this chocolate, because this is also 2 points. And this little tiny Heath bar is 2 points. So this one's 2 points. This one's 2 points. So know before you go. Know before you go. Buy candy that you don't like. So that's I'm a big fan of that, buying stuff that you don't like and that you're not going to eat. Like people who don't like Twizzlers, a lot of kids like Twizzlers. So if you don't like Twizzlers, buy that. Yep, and Lynn just said it. Buy candy you don't like. If you have to buy it, buy candy that you don't like. Sandra doesn't get any kids at her house, which would have broken my heart when we lived in a house because I wanted all the kids. Yeah, so that would have broken my heart. But we did. I saw somebody, and I can't scroll back through there. No, right there it is. Jackie said the Oots pretzels, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the Oots pretzels, they have little mini bags at Sam's, and those are 1 smart point each. Those are brilliant because you can pack those in a bag. They last forever. I can tell you that months later, those things are still good because they're individually packed, and it's just 1 smart point, per. But anyway, so buy the ones like this that are little tiny ones. Everything in here is either 3 points or less. So this one is 3 points. The Whoppers, the little Whoppers, there's 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 little Whoppers in there. That's 2 points. This is 2 points. These are 2 points. I think this one is 2 points. The Heath bar is definitely 2 points. The little tiny Kit Kat is 2 points. These I think were 2 points. There's the Tootsie Roll Pops. I love these things, so I don't buy these. I put all of these except for this one for example purposes in my mom's bag to take to the nursing home because these are 3 smart points. And I can eat quite a few of these. Like if I get started on these, I'm not going to stop at just 1. So these are 3 smart points. So just keep that in mind. 3 smart points, or I can have all of this for 6 smart points, or half of this for 3 smart points, or I could pick, a couple of things out of here. But yeah, this whole thing, or this is 3 smart points. Okay, this whole container. So I'm going to add this back in because this was in this original container. So I want y'all to guess. So this container, this is not a huge container. This is by in no way, shape, or form a whole bag of candy. And Janice says she wouldn't be able to have all those in her house. Not doing too bad so far, but again, I did my nails instead of getting in the candy. But I want y'all to guess how many smart points is in this whole box. So I think we can agree that this size box, this is about the size of one of the small pumpkins if you take out a small child. So this is about what they're going to come home with. A small pumpkin, not if you've got a preteen who's taking a pillowcase. But how many smart points do y'all think are in here? Okay, Rosie says 100. I'm going to get a sip of my tea while y'all are guessing. Yeah, and Jennifer says there's so many kids with allergies anymore that they buy pencils, stickers, etc. And it might sound boring to the adults, but it's not for the kids. Alicia says 50. Oh, Betty likes peanut M&Ms. Oh, I do too. Peanut M&Ms are one of my favorites. Myra says 45. Jackie says 120. Lynn says 100. Loretta says probably 55. Marianne says 40. Claudie says 74. That's funny, Claude. Oh, and Joni said 32. I started to say, and Trish says 76. So there's only a couple of you all that have not made it end in a 5 or a 0. I just find that funny. I have no idea it takes us 63. Okay, so there's 4 of you now who have made it not end in a 0 or a 5. I have no idea why that caught my attention or why I even care. Vicky says 245. No, it's just this size box, Vicky. That's it. So this is about, Sandra says 126, Judy says 82, Patty says 130, Sue says 175. This is the size. Ooh, Karen says 359. You're just really trying to throw me off track there, aren't you, Karen? But this is about how much you would end up with. So if you had, so like Alyssa, if we take Alyssa trick-or-treating, which she will go to trick-or-treat at her other grandmother, she's the children's director or something at the church that they go to. So they are having their trunk or treat, and it's a huge celebration. So Alyssa will come home with as long as her daddy doesn't, get another bag and fill it up. But Alyssa she'll come home with about this much in her little pumpkin thing. So I'm gonna let y'all guess, like we only have 8 minutes, so I'm gonna let y'all guess just a couple more. Okay, Betty says 120, Jenna says 84. Barbara says you can eat the mini M&Ms for less points. That's a good point. That's a good point on points. Okay, so this whole container, so the one that the small child who's too small to eat the candy is going to come home with, this has 65 smart points in it. So everything that's in here, all of this tallied together is 65 smart points. So while I am not recommending that you bring home your small child or grandchild's pumpkin and dump it out and go, well, Kelly said it's only 65 smart points. I had 65 smart points left for the week because I had 6 rollovers and I didn't use any of my weeklies. Okay, I'm not saying save up 65 smart points for this. What I'm saying is, even if you went crazy, please don't go crazy, but even if you went crazy and you ate your toddler's, as long as it's not more chocolate than this, but if you ate your toddler's entire bucket, their entire pumpkin, that's 65 smart points. You know, write it down. Just write it down and move on. It's one day. I've seen so many people stressing out, pre-stressing out, like stressing out about Halloween before Halloween even gets here, and they're eating candy now, like they're just going ahead and eating candy and saying, I'm gonna have candy. I can't control myself. I'm gonna have candy, you know, on Halloween. So they're eating it now because they're not gonna be able to control themselves on Halloween. Please don't do that. Please don't set yourself up, you know, for failure. So all of that is 65 smart points. And yes, Sandra says track it and move on. That's exactly right. And Jennifer says accidents do happen. Yes, they do. Okay. And Loretta says sugar literally makes her hyper, then depressed. Sugar doesn't make me hyper at all. So, okay. So I have a list, and it is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And if you just search Halloween, you will be able to pull this up. And let's just go over a few things that are on that list. So if you want to know before you go, ooh, Trish says, to me, talking about making myself some tea, she just made herself some Alpine spiced sugar-free apple cider. Wow, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Okay, so this list, which is printable. Oh, I hope y'all can see that. The glare on it's terrible. This list, okay. So that is a printable list. This is on, excuse me, this is on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And if you just search Halloween, you'll be able to pull this up. And this list is from a couple of years ago, but I'll rattle off a few of these. 100 grand in a fun size. So the fun size is that little one that's probably about that long. It's probably about as long as this part of your thumb. So 100 grand fun size is 5 smart points, or all of that is just 6. A three Musketeers fun size, 3 smart points. Airheads, the snack size, which is, I don't think I had any Airheads, they're about that long, is 2 smart points. Almond Joy fun size is 4 smart points. I'm sure it has something to do with the protein in the almonds that brings it down to 1 smart point. Candy corn, yeah, we already knew about that one. The caramel apple pie pops, those are 3. A Charms blow pop is 2. Chewy lemon heads, I've got crunch bars, dots, dum dums, let's see, gummy bears. I've got, you know, all this, M&Ms. Sorry, I'm probably going to have to stop talking since I'm getting East Tennessee choked up. But anyway, I don't know how many different candies are on here, but I've got York peppermint patties, Wonka gobstoppers, Whoppers, Twizzlers, Warheads. You know, I tried sweet tarts. I tried to think of, you know, pretty much anything I had seen, you know, in a trick-or-treat bag. I did not have those Boston baked beans on there that guy was talking about. Did not have those on there. Okay, so the coughing's going to start. I'm not going to be able to stop it. So don't forget to do your homework. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Oh, don't forget, if you haven't already, we need you, or you're going to want to, it's not that we need you, you're going to want to go over to Instagram if you're already on Instagram. And remember, sorry, today is October the 13th, so Don't, you know, this is 2019. Don't watch this video a year from now. Goodness, hopefully I can finish this. Don't watch this video a year from now and think you can still do this. But go to Instagram and enter to win. Our contest. Okay. Sorry, this has really got me choked up. So anyway, remember to go over there and enter our contest. I'm not crying, I promise, I'm okay. Shoo, it's just the coughing. But I'm going to tell you all good night. Have a great week. Please don't forget to watch the next video. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and sign up. Yeah, and it's just this weather. If you lived in East Tennessee, like Barbara knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'll be fine in like 5 minutes. But anyway, watch the next video. Please sign up to please subscribe on YouTube, or you can buy a lovely spreadshirt if you click over here. So good night, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Yeah, and everybody, please keep showing your whys. I'm loving them. Yeah, thank you. Good night, everybody. Have a great week.